Hey everybody, it's Charlene from Playroom Chronicles. Now, toys are a huge trend for those Valentine card classroom exchanges, right? Like it used to be you would give a little lollipop or a little Smarties candy along with the Valentine's Day card, but there's been a huge trend where toys are now accompanying those Valentine's Day cards. But those toys are usually not great quality and usually don't last much longer than the day after Valentine's Day. But I have 5 hacks for you. 5 everyday toys that you can use with a little ingenuity and a little bit of punniness to turn those everyday toys into those perfect toy trinkets to go along with those Valentine's Day class cards. So I cannot wait to show you what those are. All right, so the first one is actually from Horizon Group. It's the Made by Me window art kit. And I like this one. They have different versions, but I obviously like the springtime one because, in particular, there is a sun catcher in there that actually has the love, which is fantastic. But you get 12 sun catchers and you get 8 window clings, so about 20. And in essence, you also then give an activity for your child to do leading up to Valentine's Day. So they actually have to paint all of these and create them for their friends. And then once they finish creating, you just can put it in a little baggie. You can get like 100 of these for $5 on Amazon. So you put a little baggie like so, along with the little hook that comes with it too. And then you put a little fun little saying inside. Like this one says, "You are a ray of sunshine, Valentine." And then you're done. And so it's something that your child can create, and there's a weekend activity. And now this is something that that child can go home and show mom and dad what they got at their Valentine's Day swap. And it's something that they can hang on their bedroom window or in the car or on the refrigerator. So it's something that's going to last much longer than the day after Valentine's Day. Now, another hack is actually advent calendars. I think a lot of people don't think about advent calendars other than for advent time, but they're actually a perfect way to get a lot of toy trinkets for a really good value. And one of the ones I like the most is this one here from Zuru, this mini brand book advent calendar. Now, the key though is to find advent calendars that actually have a toy in each day of the advent calendar. Some advent calendars out there, like there might be a couple pieces that you need like 2 or 3 days and then you're able to build it. Those aren't bad. It's just you don't get as much bang for your buck because, you only get, say, 12 mini toys inside at the end of the day versus say 24. So price it out a little bit, but I love this one because you get these cute little mini books. I mean, how freaking adorable is this? And you just put a little card again in the baggie, like so, put a little book in there and then a little card like this, which says, "You're bookmarked in my heart," or "Our friendship has great chapters ahead." I mean, pretty unique and not something that everyone's doing in the classroom. Another hack actually is to take your average board game and use the board game pieces as your toy trinkets. So, for example, I'm thinking about this game that Fat Brain Toys sells. It's this ladybug counting game or matching game. And there's all these little wooden ladybugs. Well, just get that. It's about $20. You get 12 wooden ladybugs, and then you put the little wooden ladybug, in the little baggie, along with something like, "You've taken a spot on my heart," or something like that, right? I mean, all said and done, and then that board game piece, you can just recycle it. Or I really like this one too, which is this bug mashup game from Talking Tables. And let me find a little spot to put that down in so you can see what it is. But basically, it's like a matching game with all these little bug pieces. So the kids actually sort of try to, match up different bug pieces and, the little heads and so on and so forth and kind of be silly about it. But you get basically 12 bugs. So now your child can come up with 12 bug creations. Again, putting in a little baggie for their friends. And then I have a little card that says, "I'm bugging out all over you." And you can also put a little play prompt on the back of this card, like, "What are you going to name your bug? Can you come up with a name for this new species of your bug?" And what I really like about it is that it's something that the kids are going to start talking about. They're going to come up with the different ideas. And maybe at recess, they might be starting to swap bug pieces amongst themselves as well. So I think it's really fun. And again, you get 12 of them in there. So depending on the size of the class, you might need more than one. Now, another hack is actually to get those big collector packs of collectible characters and toys. And one that I'm thinking about is Squishalongs from Jazzwares. And I like the Squishalongs because they're Squishmallows. They have that version, they have the Hello Kitty version, and of course, they have the Harry Potter version. So it's one of those things where it's these beloved characters, and it's something that they can play with and they can trade with and all the things. And if you decide to get the Harry Potter one, I have this particular saying: you're a wizard at being awesome, or you are wonderful, right? So if you just open the pack and then you take out one of the characters, again, put in this little baggie along with a little card, and then again, you're done. And people can be playing with them at recess, or they can be trading them, or they can be adding to their collection at home. So again, there's a Hello Kitty, there's Squishmallows versions, there's Harry Potter. I mean, there's so many of them. But obviously, the more you get in the pack, the better the cost effectiveness is for what you're gifting. All right, last one is kind of a similar hack to what I've been telling you about before, but I want you to think outside the toy box, which is to use card games. So you can use any trading card game like Pokemon or Disney Lorcana cards, for example, and just put a couple of those in a baggie and say something like, I wouldn't trade our friendship for anything. Because a lot of the kids love Pokemon cards. They like trading, they want to add to their collection. I like the Disney Lorcana cards because even if kids aren't necessarily into their trading, they usually like Disney. They know the different Disney characters that are in there. So even if they're not necessarily into the particular Disney Lorcana, that's from Ravensburger, that's okay. But they know it's Mufasa, for example, and they know it's Cinderella, and they're happy about it. And then again, during recess, they can be trading, they can be talking about it. It's super fun. But another card game I want to share with you is What Do You Meme from Relatable, the Family Edition. And again, it's a typical game that you would play with the family where you get these photo cards, and then looks like something like this, right? You get a photo card. And how you play the game, and I'm like rushing through how to explain it, but everybody sort of picks a caption card. So let's just say I pick this one, and then you pick this one. And it says, for example, with this card, it says, when you find money in your last year's winter coat. Or when mom says, don't feed the dog at the table, and then you see dad secretly feeding the dog at the table, right? So, I mean, it's fun. And then how you play the game is then everybody votes which pairing is the funniest, and then you get a point. But imagine taking a card for each person in the class. And then with, again, depending on how many kids in the class, like 2 or 3 caption cards, right? And then you give a little Valentine's Day note that says, you meme the world to me, or we're meant to be. So now the kiddo basically gets the card, the captions, something they can share in the group chat. It's something that they can be now at lunch, like seeing what everybody has and which one's the funniest, and maybe even trading and so on and so forth. So it is something that, needless to say, with all of these, I hope I've convinced you that it adds a lot of creativity, a lot of engagement, and a lot of longevity and play opportunities beyond that little, plastic heart ring or a little eraser for a pencil. And again, it's around, depending how many people you have and all the things, and prices of products fluctuate all the time, but anywhere between 50 cents to $1.50 per Valentine. So price it out and see if it works for you and your family. So I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate a subscribe and a like and a follow and all the things. And I'll see you next time.